So my tritype is 371, and it took me a while of observing what strategies I was using, and I definitely realized that I did use the 3, the 7, and the 1. One of the ways that I recognize that is that I have a lot of perfectionism in my work. I want to make sure that whatever it is I'm doing, it's not just the best, but it's also really just perfect. And at the same time, I like to be creative and I like my freedom. So I knew that 7 was in there someplace.
I'm a type 6, and in the heart center of intelligence, I actually lead with the 2 or giver type, although I do have connection to 3 too, which is a natural one in the Enneagram. In the body center, although I have some 9, I tend to lean on 1, the perfectionist, wanting to make things right and get to a kind of a sense of certainty there again, and knowing what's right and what's best to do, and can get a little judgmental and critical at times.
The whole passion I have, and how much I can get into something really is the 4 that comes out, and at the same time, I can be, if I'm not sure about something, I'll use that to empower myself more, like a counterphobic 6. But then of course it always comes down to the 8.
So my tritype's 4, 7, 9. As a 4, there's a part of me that's maybe more optimistic, especially for others, and that can be a little bit more afraid to admit my sadness. And as I've learned more about that tritype with the 7 and the 9, I see how that combination would definitely bring, it would challenge some of the 4, because it wouldn't want to be so maybe depressed or so into the darker feelings. And yet that was my experience, but there was something kind of conflicting with that. And a lot of times people have said initially, oh, you don't seem like a 4. You seem maybe more like a 9. So it helps me understand that too.
That I'm a 4, 5, 1. And I have a very strong 1, a very attention to detail and specific, and in the 5 I really enjoy the technical aspects of some things, computers, photography, programs, that kind of thing.
I'm a 125, and the way I learned it was by taking the test. I had always thought I followed the lines of connection to 4 and 7, and then after testing, became aware of the 2 and the 5, and it took a while to integrate them, but they make sense, they resonate. I like to help people, so there's the aspect of the 2, to make that contribution. And with the 5, there's the other side of it is to be a bit more withdrawn, more reserved, and need more quiet time. And I also think it also helps me solve puzzles. So I'm an orderly 1, but I'm also a problem solver.
When Katherine came out with those archetypes, it seemed like it was right on 512 or 125 or one of those things, because it was a mentor, and that's what I did my whole life, and I'm very comfortable doing that. The 1 seems very strong to me because more and more I get into situations in which people are doing a service for me but don't seem to be doing it right, and it does make me very angry. The 2 was much more subtle and very sensitive to how they feel or how they feel about me, but much less in tune with how I'm really feeling, and I can put my own feelings on a back burner. 512 is right on.